Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Tepidino Insurance, and I'm here today to talk to you about homeowners insurance, specifically secondary homes, vacation homes, things of that nature. Now, this time of year it's spring. People are starting to clean up their houses, get their yards ready for their barbecues. They're starting to get their shore homes open. You're planning that big 4th of July get together. Maybe you have a shore property that's a rental property for you, or maybe even you have a shore property that you go to, but you want to make some money doing this Airbnb thing. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit today about how your insurance policy may or may not offer the proper coverages for you. Okay? So, like I said, it's springtime. We're at the Jersey Shore, and people are getting their summer homes ready. Now, your traditional homeowners policy at the shore, usually, not all cases, most cases are going to be a surplus lines policy. Now, there's nothing wrong with a surplus lines policy. My agency actually sells those as well. What we're talking about here is that the surplus lines policies offer certain limits in coverage. They may not offer some of the endorsements or some of the bells and whistles, so to speak, that some of the standard market policies offer. And like I said, we sell those policies as well. I mean, when there's no alternative, if say your house is on stilts or there's some losses that you've had over the years, you have no option but to go with the surplus lines policy. However, our agency, what we try to do is we try to put you with a standard market carrier whenever possible. We want to get you the lowest deductibles as we can, and that's not always possible with the surplus policy. Now, some of the differences that you may encounter when it comes to a standard versus a surplus policy for your shore home is the levels of coverage. Okay, now traditionally surplus lines policies on coastal homes are traditionally high. One way to reduce premium is to cover it a different way. They call it the 80% co-insurance clause, and while that will give you the insurance you need to get your mortgage covered properly and to get you to a closing table and stuff like that, it's not necessarily always the right way to do it, or the best way. Not necessarily the best way to do it. We try to put everybody with a standard market carrier where we insure your home for replacement cost. We also want to make sure the coverages, when you're looking at your policy, you want to make sure that you have enough contents coverage. Okay, now this is a secondary home, so most likely you have shore furniture. A lot of secondary or vacation homes have older furniture in it, stuff, because you're not there all the time. You're not living in it all year round. You're there for a couple months out of the year, maybe every weekend during the summertime, that kind of stuff. So you may not have that expensive bedroom set or the expensive dining room or living room set there. Okay, again, shore home. You're going to the beach. You're not there to hang out at the house, right? So in any case, you want to make sure that you have the proper amount of contents coverage on your home. Okay, again, it works very similar to your standard regular home. Your standard policy in your regular home, you want to make sure that you have enough coverage there. You're going to take a look around the house and make sure what you have, and make sure you have the right coverages, the right amount of coverage there. If you estimate that you have about $90,000 worth of furniture and belongings in that secondary home, you want to make sure you have at least $90,000 worth of replacement cost and contents coverage on your policy. If you're short, then if God forbid there was a loss and the entire structure was lost and all the contents and everything, then you're going to be short money getting everything replaced. So you want to make sure that coverage is correct there. Now, something that's really important, because this is something new in the last maybe 2 or 3 years. It's called the Airbnb. And the Airbnb is basically, if you don't know what it is, basically you have a home and you can rent your home to someone through a website, through a broker service, to stay in your home for a couple days, for a week, a weekend, a month, whatever it may be, for a certain rate, and it's like a short-term rental basically. Now, your standard homeowner's policy does not offer coverage for that. If somebody comes to your house and they're living in your house and they get hurt, or if they're renting your house from you and they get hurt, your standard shore property secondary home type policy is not going to cover the loss. I mean, they probably would cover it. I mean, you'd have to go through the whole claims process. They may cover it and they may drop you afterwards, but traditionally speaking, the policy would not cover you. Okay, there's no coverage for that because you're not living there. It's not you. They're not coming to visit you. They're actually living there, and you're renting it. You're making money. It's kind of a commercial exposure, so to speak. There are specific policies for that, and those are called landlord policies. Okay, Now, traditionally, those landlord policies have restrictions. They don't want. Most of them don't like the short-term rental. They rather have the annual, the seasonal rental, and seasonal rental meaning a couple months at a time, not a week or a day or something like that. So you have to be careful of what you have. Now, if you're doing the Airbnb thing, and you're doing it on a regular basis, you have a couple people staying there in a month kind of thing, then you need to make sure that whatever policy you have has the Airbnb endorsement on it. We actually have a number of carriers that offer this endorsement, and it's fairly inexpensive. I mean, you're talking maybe a few dollars more than what your regular homeowner's policy would cost for that secondary home, but you have the proper coverage that you need. So it's very important to make sure that you are evaluating all these different aspects of insurance when you're insuring your homes, especially your secondary homes. Remember, you paid a couple $100,000 for these houses in most cases. You don't want someone to slip and fall and sue you and take that home from you, right? Now it's not your home no more, now it's theirs. I don't want that to happen, but in any case, making sure you have the right coverages for your home. If you're not sure if you have this endorsement or if you can get it, I suggest you talk to your insurance agent. Give your current agent a call and say, hey, listen, I'm doing Airbnb at my shore home for a couple months out of the summer when I'm not there. Am I covered for that? Unless they show you a specific endorsement that says you're not covered. Okay, it's very simple. There have been a number of bulletins out in the industry about this, and you want to see the endorsement. Okay, when the policies that I've written myself for my own clients, and they tell me I always ask them, you doing the Airbnb thing, you're renting it out, that kind of stuff. They say, yeah, this is my seasonal home. I stay there for a couple weeks out of the summer, and I do the Airbnb thing through the rest of the season. I say, okay, fine. And I write the policy, show them the endorsement. It clearly indicates on there, that they have the Airbnb endorsement on there. Okay. And like I said, it's only a few dollars more than your regular policy would be. In some cases, it's exactly the same because the premiums are lower, and then you just add the endorsement, brings it back up. But it's all about having the right coverage. Okay. You don't want somebody, like I said, you don't want somebody getting hurt on your property, and now that's not your shore home anymore. That's that guy's shore home. Okay. But if they can't offer this to you, or they say they don't have it, hey, like I said, like I always say every week, message me, inbox me on social media, whatever you want to do. Send me an email, give me a call. I'm happy to run up a quote for you and see if it's something that I can help you with, and then see if it's affordable for you. Okay. My staff does the same thing at the office, so we're all there to help you guys out. Like I said, like I always tell you guys, my agency is Assure Coastal Exposure Specialty. We're coastal insurance specialists. We know all about insuring homes on the beach, on the water. You got a houseboat, I can insure that too. We have the outlets for it. So we're coastal insurance specialists, homeowners, businesses, apartments, condos, landlords, whatever it may be, commercial auto, jitneys, car services. We do all of that stuff. And if your agent can't get you a price on something, give us a call. I mean, that's the whole point here. We want to make sure that people are insured properly and they don't have a loss, because there's nothing worse than having an accident and there's no coverage for you. Okay? So let's recap here real quick before we end the video. We're talking about homeowners insurance, making sure that your seasonal home on the coast or wherever it may be has the correct endorsements and coverages if you're doing the Airbnb thing. There are specific coverages for that, and if your policy doesn't explicitly say it, then you don't have the coverage regardless of what your agent's telling you. So make sure you talk to your agent. If you can't get a solid answer, give me a call. I'm happy to work on it for you or have one of my staff take care of it for you, and we'll go from there. So the season's coming. Hurricane preparedness is our next video. We'll talk about what you can do to make your home safe, be prepared for a hurricane and a loss of power, loss of water, that kind of stuff, and a loss to your house. Talked about claims last week. I'm going to talk about it again. You can't talk about being prepared and making sure your home is hurricane safe enough. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care.